It was a night most did not expect over a year ago when Donald Trump announced that he was going to run for president. Tonight, his dream is a reality. Trump-Pence, make America great again. He is the nominee of the Republican Party, and he will take Hillary Clinton in the fall. The confetti is falling. It is pandemonium here on the floor, really. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Boehm, host of Capitol Tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us here. Pandemonium to say the least, but this is the moment that Donald Trump supporters have been waiting for. His speech focused heavily on security, protecting America both abroad and here. He talked about helping the police and a little bit about his other plans with the economy, but none of that matters right now as people are having all sorts of fun in the moment here as we are in the midst of this. I don't care what party you're with, it's pretty amazing to be in the middle of something like this, and we will do the same thing with the Democrats next week when we go to Philadelphia to talk about this all-important race in 2016 and as we move and beyond. Maybe we should get some reaction here. As they get some, we'll let them take a picture, we'll get some reaction from some folks here. Can I ask you folks something? We're live on the air in North Carolina. Tell us your name, where you're from.
Jason Crowd from Missouri.
What'd you think tonight?
Out of the park. Great job. Trump, Trump, Trump.
If we were here a year ago and you said that Donald Trump would be the nominee here on stage, what would you tell me?
I would have said maybe, maybe not, but he's hit it out of the park. Trump, Trump, Trump.
From what's your name, sir?
Todd Richardson from Missouri.
From Missouri as well. Is this what you expected?
I think this convention's been great start to finish. Tonight culminates it. I think Trump did a great job tonight. I think it's going to be very well received back home.
He talked a lot about security tonight. Is that the big issue in 2016?
Security's a big issue all over the country. It's been a big issue in Missouri. I know it's a big issue in North Carolina, and I think that's why you saw him focused on that message tonight.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's, if we can maybe start to head over to the North Carolina section. We got balloons and pandemonium everywhere. Let's start to try to make our way over. I'll try to protect our photographer, Ed, here. He's been doing an amazing job all week, these are not the easiest of circumstances here. People wanted unity from this. We'll see if this is the unity that Republicans wanted. Of course, there was an interesting moment with Donald Trump. Look at all these balloons down here as we head over to the North Carolina section. It's like feathers all over the place. Let's say, can we go into our North Carolina delegates? Can we go right here, sir? Just right here with our delegates. Thank you very much. Senator Bill Rabin, we're live. What did you think of the night, sir?
I thought it was spectacular. I thought he laid everything out the way it should be. I think the man can do it and will do it, I believe. I believe from the start. I'll go right on believing. I think we're going to make America great again. And to someone, when I saw it at its greatest, 14 years old, when World War II ended. That's where we have to be again.
What was his speech compared to what you thought it would be?
I thought that the speech, I really thought it would be like that. I look for him to be a lot more presidential. I look for him to be much closer to what he was at APEC when he talked that time.
And was it?
Yes. There was substance, there was emotion, and I believe heartfelt emotion at some of those times when he was talking about people, his feeling for people. Leaders are that. Leaders understand people, and I once told a bunch of my folks when I was doing leadership work, you have to have great emotion to be a great leader. And he is, I believe.
Thank you very much, sir. Senator Ron Rabin from District 12. I'm just going to get up here because it's pandemonium right now. Hey, man, how's it going? We're in the North Carolina section.
Come on,
Johnny, what do you think?
Hey, sometimes you get what you need, baby.
Timing is everything. I'm getting balloons thrown at me here. Can I talk to you live on Time Warner Cable News? Michelle Nick, the Vice Chair. What do you think of what we saw tonight?
I think it's fantastic. The energy in the room, you can feel it. Isn't it wonderful? I'm so excited. We're going to elect a Republican for president. Yeah!
If I would have told you we'd be here with Donald Trump as a nominee a year ago, what do you think that we're here now? Are you surprised still?
I will be really surprised because he wasn't my first choice, but he's my choice now.
What did you make of the speech?
I thought it was really good. He hit on all the high points that everyone wants to hear. We want to talk about how we're going to bring businesses back to America and put people back to work again and make America successful in a country that we're all proud of, because this administration we have now, tired of them apologizing for our greatness.
Security was a huge issue tonight. Do you think that's the #1 issue for Americans?
We need to keep our people safe here in America, and we need to build that wall.
Do you think that's really possible to build that wall?
Yes, I do, and I think Mexico is going to pay for it.
All right, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can get a view of just what's going on here. Talk about a wild night in pandemonium. I'm going to try to get back to our senior political reporter here, Loretta Benini, who's been watching this to try to get some policy. Obviously, these folks are pretty excited, so they're a little one-sided on this issue. Loretta, everyone here is obviously pretty excited, but what did you make of the speech?
We heard a lot of the themes that we've heard from him on the campaign trail, but this was really a law and order speech. He really hit on that hard, and he tried to reach out to folks that are both Republicans and Democrats with some of these issues. We heard a lot of things that we've been hearing from Democrats from Donald Trump tonight. So a lot of people have been saying that he needed to pivot towards the general election. He certainly did that on certain issues tonight. Some of them he stayed with his base on building that wall with immigration and things like that. But he also did try to move a little bit so that he can appeal to both sides of the aisle.
It felt like a combination of one of his campaign speeches and a very formal presidential speech. It almost felt like a blend of it, performance-wise. Did you see that?
I totally agree with that. You could almost tell exactly when he stopped reading the teleprompter. He's a lot more comfortable when he's not on the teleprompter. And that's the person that a lot of these folks voted for, was the guy who wasn't on the teleprompter and just spoke and said what he wanted to. His whole facial expression changes when he's not on teleprompter. You can tell he's saying what he wants to say right then. It's not that he doesn't believe the stuff he's saying on teleprompter. He's just not as good when he's scripted as when he just talks about the way he actually feels on that issue.
Even if we had a teleprompter, we need windshield wipers right now. It's so crazy in here. Obviously, people are very excited right now with all these balloons and whatnot. But unity after today, when the balloons are gone, it's still a big deal. I mean, did you get a sense of what the building tonight during the speech?
I think we saw today the unity building all day long, because so many of the Republicans were upset about what Ted Cruz did and that he didn't get that endorsement. It actually almost served to unify the party a little bit more. And then tonight, when Donald Trump came out, I mean, we've been at these conventions before. The folks that are in this room, they support him. They're excited about this. And yeah, I think that this core group here is ready to move forward towards November.
It's hard to put into words what's going on around here. These people are also very excited. I thought it's really interesting that so much of the speech was about security and so little about the economy. They must believe that's where they're going to win this fall.
I think the security issue had to be touched on. We've had so much division in the country over the last couple of weeks with the shootings, especially with police officers. This is something that's on the minds of Americans right now, and he wanted to take the lead on it. We know that we're probably also going to hear about this over at the Democratic convention. Donald Trump wanted to make sure that he put down his ideas for this before the Democrats got a chance to.
Look at these guys back here. That's the executive director of the Republican Party, Dallas Woodhouse, A.J. Dowd, many-time candidate in North Carolina as well, and a loyal GOP here. A.J., let me ask you, what do you make of tonight, Dallas?
It was fantastic. He showed America that he can make us one again and make America great again.
Dallas, you're losing your voice a little there, huh?
I lost mine, and he found his.
Dallas always come with the words. AJ, what did you think of this speech?
I think it's great. It's showing that America's going to get tough and strong again. We need the leadership, Tim, and we're all prepared to do it behind Trump. You're seeing a really unified party right now, no matter, despite what's happened in the last few days.
Yeah, but AJ, you know, it's easy to be unified at a party with balloons. How does this go beyond tonight?
Well, as big as I am, we're all gonna get together. Family may fight, but at the end we stick together.
So we'll have to see. Thank you very much, Jeff Bennett, our Washington D.C. bureau reporter. Wow, it's quite a scene, right, buddy?
Donald Trump talked about job creation. I think if he hired some people to clean up all these balloons and confetti, that would create at least, what, like a couple thousand jobs tonight here in the
It's going to take a big vacuum, I think.
Yeah, Donald Trump cannot be compared by, there's no American comparison to Donald Trump for the kind of candidacy he's run and the kind of speech he gave tonight. It was really a stemwinder of a speech. He hit on every major American political orthodoxy and tore it apart. I mean, the idea that someone accepting the nomination, the party's nomination for the presidency, would say from that stage that we're going to allow people, allow pastors to talk politics from the pulpit and not pay any sort of, you know, not face any sort of problems for doing that is stunning. But you know, this was a speech that really spoke to the base. We'll find out if this is a base election or not. This was not a speech that really sought to make overtures to the broader electorate, but as you can tell from this room, it worked. It worked with the people he's trying to reach, the Republicans he's trying to reach.
But he keeps saying, you know, I'm going to be your voice, and that line about, you know, she says I'm with her, but I'm with you. That can be effective in politics.
It is. But the next thing to come is will show us some specifics. Yeah. He was a bit more specific toward the end of the speech, but that's the next thing that we'll wait to see. I was really impressed though by Ivanka. Ivanka Trump, really, there were certain points at which I thought, is this a Hillary Clinton speech? When she was talking about equal pay for equal work, when she was talking about how mothers shouldn't pay any sort of, you know, shouldn't have to make less money. The issue is not about gender, it's about motherhood. That is not something you hear, traditionally, it's not something we've heard from Republicans.
It feels like after a football game when people take down the goalposts.
Oh, yeah, it's about to get crazy. In a second, we're going to see somebody swinging from the MSNBC.
Well, Paul Ryan's speaking one more time. Maybe we should toss it back and see what he has to say from.
Welcome to the Most Reverend Roger Grease.
All right, it's pretty wild and crazy in here. They're about to pray, so let's go outside to Kirsten Garrison and see what's going on outside the arena.
The convention is over. A lot of people are getting ready to get the party started. Just take a look behind me. People are literally, as you can see, getting ready to have a good time. Hey, do you mind if we talk to you real quick? What did you think of Donald Trump's speech tonight? What did you think?
I thought it was presidential. You know, I have to admit, I'm still undecided, but I loved it. But I am one of the few that probably here that are undecided. But I'm very impressed with what he had to do. He wasn't overly flamboyant. He was spot on, and I was impressed. Thank you, though.
Good stuff. Thank you. So, yeah, a lot of people were very excited. And while people were watching the speech out here, they were very focused. It was a quiet group, but they were very excited. And we talked to some folks just a few moments ago, and they kind of said the same thing, that Donald Trump hit the nail on the head for them and that he said everything that he wanted to hear. So we're going to see what else is going on here. As you can see, people are kind of coming out here. Actually, excuse me. Hey, you mind if we talk to you about Donald Trump's speech? Oh, hold on. And you see a lot of people are out here now. They're making their way to have a good time out here. And we are going to try and talk to a few more delegates. Stay with us real quick. Hold on real quick. Let's see. Excuse me. Hey, do you mind if we talk to you about Donald Trump's speech real quick? Hey. Hey there. What did you think of Donald Trump's speech? Good. Good? Okay. So, a lot of pretty simple answers. A lot of people kind of saying the same thing. They liked the speech. It was very good. But as you can see, the party is getting started out here. So, Sam, we'll send it back to you in the studio. A lot of happy people here in Cleveland. Back to you.
O loving and merciful God, we ask your guidance for those who govern us, the President and Vice President, the Congress, the Supreme Court,
and on all those who seek to serve the common good by seeking public office, especially Donald J. Trump and Governor Mike Pence. Make them all worthy to serve you by serving your country. Help them remember that the only just government is the government that serves its citizens rather than itself. Almighty God, we thank you as well for the gift of liberty. Renew in all of our people a respect for religious freedom in the full, that the most cherished freedom, and make us ever grateful for all those who for more than 2 centuries have given their lives in freedom's defense. We commend their noble souls to your eternal care, as even now we beg your mighty hand upon our beloved safety forces and all our men and women in uniform. May we know the truth of your creation, respecting every life of every living human being from conception to natural death, and give us strength and the courage to bring the pro-life platform of this 2016 Republican National Convention to fulfillment. And may we grow in our love for you, our God, and love our neighbor as ourselves. And we pray that we will bring America back to life, bring America back to work, and bring America together, one nation under God. And we beseech your blessing on all who depart from here this evening, and on all those of every land who seek to conduct their lives in freedom. But most of all, Almighty God, we thank you for the great gift of our beloved country. Dear God, bless America, you who live and reign forever and ever. Amen? Amen.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, we wanted to be respectful and allow that prayer to go through without broadcasting live as they're about to adjourn the convention. Donald Trump, the Republican nominee. We're going to take a short break here on this special edition of Capitol Tonight from the floor of the Republican National Convention. When we come back, we'll hear a little bit from the big speeches tonight, live from Cleveland, Ohio. Good evening and welcome back to this special edition of Capitol Tonight from the Republican National Convention, the very messy floor of the Republican National Convention here in Cleveland, Ohio, where Donald Trump accepted the nomination tonight and gave a speech to a rousing crowd here. The big question, of course, will the Republican Party be united after tonight? In case you missed all the speech or didn't see any of it all, you're just joining us, let's let you listen in to a little bit of what Donald Trump had to say just a short while ago here in Cleveland.
Together, we will lead our party back to the White House, and we will lead our country back to safety, prosperity, and peace. We will be a country of generosity and warmth, but we will also be a country of law and order. Our convention occurs at a moment of crisis for our nation. The attacks on our police and the terrorism of our cities threaten our very way of life. Any politician who does not grasp this danger is not fit to lead our country. Americans watching this address tonight have seen the recent images of violence in our streets and the chaos in our communities. Many have witnessed this violence personally. Some have even been its victims. I have a message for all of you. The crime and violence that today afflicts our nation will soon, and I mean very soon, come to an end. So if you want to hear the corporate spin, the carefully crafted lies, and the media myths, the Democrats are holding their convention next week. Go there.
All right, and actually we are going there next week to cover the Philadelphia, the Democratic National Convention as well. Now, outside of Donald Trump tonight, probably the most anticipated speech also was Ivanka Trump, his daughter. His children have been a big part of this week, so we want you to hear a little bit of what Ivanka Trump had to say just a little while ago.
Real change, the kind we have not seen in decades, is only going to come from outside the system.
All right, so that was a little Ivanka Trump as the convention wraps up. They just adjourned it. You're hearing we're not being attacked. These are balloons being trounced on across the area. I want to bring back in Loretta Beniti and Jeff Bennett just to sort of wrap up really not only the night but the week. Loretta, outside of our feet and our legs and our backs and how tired we are, where do you think we are tonight compared to where we thought we were going to be Saturday when we got here?
I think we probably are right around where the Republicans were hoping for. They were hoping by the end of the week there would be some unity. Obviously, we saw throughout the week that was kind of wavering. That was up and down. We had a lot of highs and lows for the Republicans throughout the week, and there's these moments that we're going to remember throughout this convention that Republicans actually probably wish we wouldn't. They want us to remember tonight. But when you listen to the speech tonight with Donald Trump and you listen to the response from the audience tonight for Donald Trump, I think that this is what they wanted heading out of the convention.
Jeff, what about you? Everybody had these expectations of what this week would be like. It was definitely a roller coaster in a lot of ways, but where are we compared to where you thought we might be?
Well, I have to say Donald Trump saved this convention. He did what he had to do, to use the sports phrase. he left it all out in the field, on the stage. But no, the stakes were high, and he knew that, and he delivered his speech. I was concerned in the beginning with all the statistics he was rattling off, and I thought something that Corey Lewandowski, his former campaign manager, used to say about let Donald be Donald. And then there was that moment where the Code Pink protester disrupted him from the stage, and I thought that was going to be the turn where he went entirely off script. But he didn't. I mean, there were a couple of instances where he did. But it's important to know that a lot of the things that Donald Trump was saying about illegal immigration, targeting of police officers, the crime rate, truthfully, all of those things have gone down under the Obama years. But in a way, it does not matter, because what Donald Trump is appealing to is a segment of the American population who feel ignored, who feel like what they say, what they feel does not matter, and that the culture has run away from them. And it has run away from them in a way that they look around and they don't see an America that reflects things that they care about or their values. And that's all that Donald Trump was speaking to tonight. And we'll see what Hillary Clinton does next week. But that is a serious message that speaks to a lot of people's hearts. And we'll see what happens, because facts matter, but we've learned that with Donald Trump in this campaign, feelings matter a lot more than facts do sometimes.
Well, and I think we learned that even in 2008. The marketing and branding of a candidate is almost more important than the issue.
To make America great again, I mean, he had this entire week, he had themes built around make America great, make America work, make America safe, make America, I forgot what the other one was. But it almost didn't matter because they didn't.
There's a t-shirt for that too.
Exactly. It almost didn't matter what the themes were because you knew, you almost knew what you were going to get. And we saw all of that. And Donald Trump wrapped it all tonight in what I think was the longest convention speech ever given by a nominee. Bill Clinton held the record, and from what I understand, Donald Trump superseded or far exceeded that record that Bill Clinton held.
I have a hunch that means we'll have a long speech from Bill Clinton next week in Philadelphia, but we'll just have to see. Loretta, I found what really interesting tonight, and what people didn't see on TV, but there was a lot of talk about LGBT issues tonight.
There was a lot of talk about LGBT issues. They've become a big conversation in the country right now. North Carolina, we know this. It's a big conversation in North Carolina after HB2 was passed. But a lot of other states are looking at similar laws and talking about similar things. Then we had the Orlando nightclub shooting. LGBT issues came up again then. Donald Trump has always said that he supports the LGBT community. He says he believes he's the right candidate for them. He brought it up in his speech tonight. He knows that it does not appeal to the entire Republican Party, and he actually thanked them for applauding to it because he said it not knowing what his response was going to be from this audience.
I hate to do this, it's what have you done for me lately, but what do you think we're going to see next week now? Are we going to see just the opposite story?
Next week is going to be a week of the Democratic superstars. When you're talking about Hillary Clinton, a lot of people say, well, we don't want the legacy, we don't want another one of the same, but Another one of the same is exactly what the Democrats want. They want to see Hillary Clinton, they want to see Bill Clinton, they want to see Barack Obama. They're going to get to see all of them, and they're spreading them out throughout the entire week so that they get to see one each night. They get to see the so-called superstars of the Democratic Party. Frankly, we're going to hear a lot of the same message we heard from Ivanka tonight during her speech during the Democrats. But you know,
there was a lot of talk on Twitter about that. Is Ivanka being a Democrat?
Well, that's right, but you know, maybe she was the right one to reach out to that base so that he didn't have to lose the Republican base during his speech tonight. But I just like we said with Donald Trump, that he kept to a lot of his campaign speech talking points tonight, Hillary Clinton's going to do the same thing next week.
Yeah, and probably at the end of 2 weeks we'll be where we were before the 2 weeks, right?
Most likely. Tomorrow we get to find out who Hillary's vice presidential candidate is, see if that gives her a little bit of a bump also.
Right. Jeff, you mentioned the protester. I still find it amazing that for all the security that we have, that a protester
is the same one from earlier in the week. It's the same woman from Code Pink, I believe, from earlier in the week. That woman, I don't know how she does it, but her ability to get into places where she should not be is extraordinary. There's probably a job for her in the CIA. Like
she doesn't change her, she doesn't wear masks or anything. She's just
No,
but what I'm actually kind of surprised about is how she got into the press area. She walked out, which was smart. I mean, if you want people to take pictures of you in your protest. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a moment.
But it just felt like a rally at that point, right?
It did. This had elements of sort of like the Tea Party town halls we saw in the summer of 2010 that really changed the landscape of North Carolina politics. A lot, especially when they build the wall and a lot of the chants that we heard. There are elements there. And that woman who was in the press stands protesting, I definitely think fueled a lot of the resentment in the room.
I just asked Sweat about next week. Let's go to next week and fast forward. What do you think we see compared to what we saw this week?
I think you're going to see. Well, it's interesting. I don't know how much Democrats will change the tenor of what they have planned based on what happened here. I don't think it would serve them to be as combative as they might have initially been, because then there's really no difference between what we saw earlier in the week with sort of the Salem witch trial version of, lock her up and all that stuff with Hillary Clinton and what they might say about Donald Trump. I'm actually really interested in who Hillary Clinton picks as her VP. We saw today the Democrats sort of raised a trial balloon with Cory Booker to see how that would do. And they said, oh, he's still being vetted. They did that with Tom Vilsack earlier in the week. Oh, he's still on our list. I've heard that one of the reasons why they, this is from someone who's familiar with the process, one of the reasons why they sort of floated Tom Vilsack's name was to make Tim Kaine look even more desirable, right? Because
it's a problem, though, isn't it?
Well, but Hillary Clinton told Charlie Rose that she likes the fact that Tim Kaine is quote-unquote boring, and that frankly he's never lost an election. He speaks fluent Spanish. He's known to be a decent man. He's well-liked. He's a proven fundraiser. So I think the good money is on Tim Kaine, but we'll see. Care to wager?
Thank you so much. No, I don't care to wager, but never wager on politics. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Philadelphia. Loretta Benini, thank you so much as always. Ed, our cameraman, I wish I could turn around the camera and show him. He's been amazing for us all week. Our team here in Cleveland, Ohio has been amazing all week. There's too many people to name. Those of you who are helping us do this right now in Raleigh and across the state of North Carolina, we can't thank you enough for making this happen. Of course, you, the viewers, you're the reason why we're here. We thank you so much. We are going back to our hotel. We're going to sleep. We're packing up. We're taking a road trip tomorrow. We're going to be in Philadelphia. We're covering the Democrats just like we did. We will have a special live edition of Capitol tonight, Sunday night at 7. Until then, we are live in Cleveland, Ohio. Good night.